first ever account was, why do people always ask that? My next goal, what does he not want me telling on camera? I'm joking guys, sorry, like, I just have to say that. Clapton, spend one day with us and you'll probably never want to go back home. Right, so, all right. 1 minute, stay right there, 1 second. All right, cool. Boarding pass for Egypt tomorrow, done. So guys, wow, we've had this YouTube channel for what, about 6, 7 years now, and never done a Q&A. And people always ask me on Instagram, so a few hours ago, I think it was about 4 hours ago, before we went Nusrat and ate everything, I put on my Instagram, what questions would you like to ask me? Here it is, and I think within a few hours we've got probably, I don't know, 1,000 or 2,000 questions, which is quite crazy. I haven't seen them all yet. I've seen some funny ones, some real funny ones. I'm gonna pass it to Ned and he can go ahead and ask me as he likes. Let's go.
How rich are you?
Why do people always ask that? It's not about being rich, I'd say it's about being able to do what you want. And I'm quite fortunate in life that I can do what I want for a long time now, and hopefully that doesn't fucking stop.
What's the dumbest thing you spent money on?
Dumbest? Novikov? I'm joking. I hope the manager of Novikov not watching this. Novikov would be one. I'd say expensive whiskey. Number two, what? Parking tickets. Fucking parking tickets are the death of me. And whenever I fucking find you people who come in my apartment and give me a ticket every day, I must genuinely get between all the cars about 3 tickets a day. Now, again, before you hate me, I have my own way of rationalizing this where I'm always late to every single meeting, like I'm late here today, today's Q&A. So I rather actually get a ticket rather than drive around 25 minutes trying to find a spot. But yeah, I think that last month, I think it's like 3,000, no, 2,000 something on parking tickets.
This question keeps popping up, but where is Shaun?
I just want everyone to know that Shaun has started his own tribe over in Thailand. Now, this tribe is built for the purpose of creating the best burgers you've ever seen on the planet. This tribe is, they've got the best blends of beefs and wagyus with a lot of French fries. I'm joking. Shaun is off Instagram. I think we can say Shaun has beef with Instagram, let's just put it that way. He's very opinionated, which I always tell him not to be so opinionated. But no, he is very much alive. Ezra Capital is his Instagram. And I'm actually gonna maybe go fly and see him in Thailand after Egypt. So hopefully I'll be over there in a few weeks' time. I'm gonna go, can't wait to go meet Shaun and all the ladyboy friends he's got. So yeah, I'm joking by the way.
What's your next goal?
My next goal, someone actually asked me this the other day. I'd say my next goal is, I don't know, I never said the word security. I think the word security can mean comfort, can mean a lot of different things, but I think that I started thinking of all the things I've ever created and all the things I do on a day-to-day basis. And I was thinking about having something which, I don't know, maybe you guys might agree, but in trading you have to be very risky. In business you have to be very, very risky. So I was thinking about having something, you know, that I've got going on in the background, just being honest with everyone, that has something that's a little bit more stable, something you can actually rely on. I think I grew up with very, very safe parents and a lot of safe friends. And then I actually went super risky, which maybe a lot of people watching this video can also be. My next goal is to actually be in a position maybe a year or two from now where I can actually say that I took a lot of my crazy, risky life and made it a lot more stable. By the way, isn't this a fancy whiskey glass? Look, I want to show everyone. Is that a boat? Someone bought it me.
Do you drink out of that on the regular?
No, I don't. I did it for this video. Nah, I actually do drink out of it, to be honest with you. Got a next question.
Are you single?
Am I single? Can Ned, you shut the fuck up? Next question.
How much capital did you start your journey?
I'd say that you have to be able, okay, so for example, my capital myself, my first ever account was 1,000, then it was 3,000. I lost both of them. And it was because I was trying to make these massive extravagant gains which a lot of people on social media are still trying to achieve. And that's why with my channel and everything that I try and do, I try not to make anyone think like that, because it's a very wrong way of thinking of life, business, and especially trading. So my first account, 1,000, 3,000. But for the people that try and figure out how I got to the point where I am now, it was with showing results on a consistent basis for over 6 to 12 months. And then a lot of people decided to invest in me, which gave me my first push up in life.
Someone's asked, how do I build the confidence to take a trade? Sometimes I hesitate in price moves.
I'd honestly say, as this might sound a little bit extreme, I'd say if you can't figure out how to pull the trigger and execute trading, it's probably not for you. I think that's one of those things where you have to actually become stone cold. Me and Shaun have been saying it for years, ever since back when we had our first office. We always said, can you leave your emotions at the door? And if you can't leave your emotions at the door, there's no point entering it and losing money, not being able to control yourself. And when you look at yourself and you've gone through a terrible losing streak, or maybe lost a lot of money, I'd say it's because you were too connected to your emotions. So I'd say that, yeah, that's my answer.
Why do you have 4 cars?
I think my family came here the other day and actually asked me that question. Why do I have 4 cars? Wait, 1 second. So, wait, how do I begin? The M4, I can't let go of because it means so much to me, because that was, well, it's the funnest car I ever actually drove. Then I bought the AV, and then the AV was then the most funnest car I ever drove, and that was fun. And then I bought the Urus. I bought the Urus because I don't know if you saw on Instagram, there's that picture of the Urus towing the Lambo. There's the Aventador. Anyway, I saw this picture and I was like, right, I want to do that one day. And I was drunk at the time, so I bought the Urus. And then the Rolls Royce, I bought because it was on my bucket list. So I'd say of all the 4 cars, the 2 on my bucket list was the Aventador, which I was very, very lucky to buy. And by the way, Alim will probably get angry about the way I pronounce Aventador. And number 2 was the Rolls, which I ticked off my list. And people always ask me which car do I want to buy next and all this stuff. I actually don't. I actually am very, very content, guys. I'd say once you tick certain things off your bucket list that are materialistic, you've got to kind of know when to stop. And when I went downstairs, and sometimes I look at them like, how many cars can one person drive? I did realize that I don't need anything else. I don't care about the latest S model or the car that's 20 more horsepower. I'd say learn to be content sometimes, because you can get really carried away, like I fucking am.
Big question here. Do you use the name Chris Sanchez as well?
Well, sometimes I'm Chris Sanchez. Sometimes I'm Walter O'Brien. Sometimes I'm, yeah, okay, you get the idea. Guys, and girls actually, for the love of God, I have 4,000 fake profiles. And to be honest with you, they actually do a pretty good job, because they manage to convince people for weeks and months about how they are me. And I don't know if you've seen this, the color of my skin, but I'm not really a Chris. I'm not really a Brian. Not really a David. I'm certainly not a Sanchez. So yeah, guys, I always try and measure people back that have fallen for my fake profiles. But eventually, sometimes I have to reply with, what the fuck do you think? So yeah, that's my answer.
Do you believe in the law of attraction?
Oh, I actually saw that on my phone when we were driving. That's actually a good question. So I'd say, yeah, I grew up in a very strict, a lot of people always ask me where I'm from. Well, my parents are from India, and I'm Sikh as a religion, but I can definitely say where my faith went more towards was the law of attraction. So for those that have never watched it, please go and research law of attraction. Law of attraction is basically, in my eyes, if you surround yourself with any particular thing, it could be the type of whiskey, it could be all your friends all have the type of car you want, and it could be anything. But if you surround yourself with conversations and you surround yourself with things that you want to achieve, by surrounding yourself with them, having them in your brain, writing them down, they become a little bit closer every single day. And a lot of people always don't think of it this way. There is a thing which is the opposite of law of attraction. Now, if your 4 friends all smoke cigarettes, for example, you'll be the 5th one. If 4 of your friends are negative, you'll be the 5th one. So the law of attraction is not always positive, but if you can surround yourself with the right people or the right things that you want to achieve, it is. Law of attraction is the best thing ever, and I'm very spiritual towards it. But there is a dark side to law of attraction too, which I've seen, unfortunately, a lot of people fall for as well.
If you had a chance to have dinner with anyone, who would it be?
Your mom. I'm joking, guys. Sorry. Like, I just have to say that. Will Smith. I don't know. I guess it's like old school Fresh Prince of Bel-Air vibes. But more than that, and genuinely, I think what's helped me throughout my life is, if you guys haven't already, there's the movie side of Will Smith. But if you guys go on YouTube and type in Will Smith motivation, there is thousands of videos where he talks about, one brick at a time. There's thousands of video where he talks about mindset. There's thousands of video where he talks about your circle and people around you. So I'd say, because he's one person that I've constantly watched and post things that I've watched in the mornings, in the evenings, when I'm having a good day, when I'm having a bad day, I'd say I'd love to actually sit there, probably more than asking questions, actually thank him.
What's something people don't know about you?
I suppose on Instagram and on YouTube, I suppose because of the career that we're in, sometimes you have to be quite professional in terms of, obviously when you say to people, I'm in finance, we look after traders, we monitor people's performances. I've been trading for 10, 11 years. People probably have no idea what really goes on when me and Shaun or whoever are on holiday somewhere, or whenever we go to a party, or how we get carried away. So I think probably the thing that people don't know and don't realize is how much fun we actually fucking have. Yeah, I'd say that people sometimes meet me and they're like, oh, you're pretty wild. So sometimes social media, you can't show all of it. So I think the best kept secret about me and Shaun is spend one day with us and you'll probably never want to go back home to your wife or your kids.
It's true.
Which has actually happened before, quite a few times.
Tips on building a big business.
I think tips on building a big business, there is no such thing as trying to build a big business, because no one wants to create a small business. So I'd say, the thing about business is, and regardless whether you're in a service business, whether you're in a product business or anything, I'd say your goal is to actually try and survive. A lot of people want to try and, aim for $1 million in the first year, or they want to try and aim for beating everybody else around them, or they want it to be a very, very quick success. But people actually don't Google the amount of people that fail on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis in life from opening a business. The numbers are quite crazy. If you as a business can survive year 1, year 3, year 5, that's got a very low probability. So I should say your goal is to survive in business, and it will then automatically become a big business because it survived.
How did you deal with friends when coming up?
I'd say that, and I have to answer this question quite honestly, that when I had the mind frame of what I want to try and achieve, I didn't actually know what I wanted to achieve. I just knew that, okay, I'm from this small little city and the people around me are very happy. They're very happy and married at the age of 21. They're very happy with their jobs. And, it was a mindset of where they would see a nice car, or we'd walk into a restaurant and they would say, isn't that a nice car? And I realized I was the only one that said, I can't wait to have that car one day. And then my friends would say to me, yeah, okay, let's be realistic now. You're not gonna have that car one day, are you? So when I kind of just, realized that I was the only one thinking that way, I still had to be friends with them, but had to really try and separate the poison and the negative thoughts of what they were saying and what I wanted to achieve. So, dealing with people and growing up when you come up on the come up, I'd say it's about being able to separate yourself from the super negative friends, the friends that think it's impossible, the friends that will never put in the hard work to achieve what, it takes to get there. And sometimes it's a solo mission. And it won't always be solo. You will meet people along the journey that have also separated from their friends because they feel how you feel and think how you think. So I'd say it's never a bad thing wanting a simple life. It's never a bad thing wanting to be married and have kids at a young age. But which I feel like sometimes you're a unicorn and you think differently to everybody else, you've got to run down that journey and sometimes be selfish as you can. You're not hurting no one's feelings. You actually are becoming the person that you should be.
If you went back 5 years, what would you do differently?
Okay, everyone wants to say nothing because they're happy with who they are and all that stuff. I'd say I probably would have been slightly more selfish, which I think it's healthy. People think that selfish means rude or selfish means ignoring people, or no. Selfish to me means that sometimes you are choosing, to focus on yourself more than other people. And I think over the last few years, myself, maybe Shaun agrees, that sometimes I've concentrated too much on maybe other people, or just try to think to myself that everybody around me is the right person to, be on the come up or be in our circle. So I'd say the only thing is, I wish I probably stuck to just my gut feeling and probably just been concentrate on myself 5 times as much, concentrate on building myself 5 times as much, rather than people around me which weren't great.
Yours and Shaun's funniest moment.
Fuck. Okay. All right, I will tell you one story. Wait, okay. There's a lot of stories here. Okay, let me try and choose carefully. We really got to think about this one. What does he not want me telling on camera? Okay, so it was Shaun's birthday coming up, maybe 2 birthdays ago. We decided last minute to book a flight to Tokyo. On the spur of the moment, I think we booked 4 hours to go. We went to Tokyo, partied our asses off, and it was his birthday, and I was like, dude, we're in Tokyo, we can go any way we want to go. We're walking to this club, and then we see this random strip club, and I don't like strip clubs, so I don't even think Shaun does, but we thought, fuck it, we're in Tokyo, why not go? So we go in, Shaun meets these 2 Romanian ladies, which are pretty friendly, they're cool, and I end up actually going back home and be like, right, Shaun, message me when you're home, we'll hang out. He never comes back home. Shaun calls me at I want to say 7:30 in the morning and was like, right now, answer your phone. So I answered the phone, he's like, right, my card's not working, you need to come and help me pay for this bill. I'm like, sure, where are you? Sends me location. I was like, but where are you? He's like, just don't worry, just come. So I'm in Tokyo and I go to this random busy intersection where I'm hungover as fuck at 7:30. I look up and it's just random building and I'm like, Shaun, I think I'm here. And he comes down with one of the waiters at this place and they get into the elevator and I'm like, Shaun, where are we? He's like, we're at a karaoke bar in Tokyo with 2 Russian strippers. I'm like, okay. I walk into the room and there it is, these 2 Russian strippers singing, and Shaun's there and I'm like, Shaun, what did you order? He's like, 5 bottles of Dom Perignon. And I actually then, okay, so I pay the bill. I'm like, Shaun, let me call an Uber. He's like, call an Uber? I'm staying. So I had to go back outside, and whilst everyone's going to work, living their normal lives, little do they know that Shaun's up there singing his ass off at a Russian stripper karaoke in Tokyo.
I think I remember that trip, it looked absolutely wild. When you jumped on that Instagram.
Oh, wow. Listen, right? Shaun decided to go to Instagram Live. I was just a victim in the background that decided to try and help him get off, okay?
How does a man move to girls?
Well, I don't know if you're saying a man or a man. Oh, that's a good one. I would say that has changed over time. I'd say Ned's probably gonna say, you just pull your Instagram out, which I know what Ned's gonna say. I would say that I normally try and keep it as simple as possible and put a rope around their legs. I'm joking, there's no rope around no one's legs. It's normally just approach them and saying, hey, where are you from and what are you doing here? And I think, from my experience, it normally works, because if they don't answer your question, they don't want to even tell your name where they're from, then you've got no chance in the world anyway. So yeah, you could try and be entertaining as possible and think of all these cool and interesting things to say to someone, but the other person's reaction you can't control. So if you go and just say, what's your name, where you're from, it usually works. If it doesn't work, rope around the legs.
Can't say that.
Okay. Okay, I guess I can't. Clapton.
What's your morning routine?
My morning routine. You know what? I wake up at 4:30 in the morning. Okay, I don't wake up at 4:30 in the morning. Yeah, I'm not that guy that lies. So I basically love my sleep and I enjoy it. And it's funny enough, one of those reasons where I'm very proud of my work and the position I put myself in. So if I want an extra few hours sleep, which is not what all these famous celebrities and stuff say, I'd say that I'm very, very much happy to actually just wake up when I want to. And that's not 10, 11, 12 a.m. That's usually around about 8 in the morning. Pip's fucking crying his ass off in his little fucking shit cage, yeah? And I have to wake up and walk him. And the reason I actually bought Pip was so I can go for more walks. So wake up around 8 o'clock. I'd take Pip for a walk at 8:30. My man goes for a shit near Big Ben. I never pick it up. Can I say that? Okay, anyway. So we walk around Big Ben, which is a really nice park nearby. We come back here. I will have a strong coffee. I'll have some vitamins in the mornings, which I like, NAD, vitamin C, liver sauce, you know, for the liver. And yeah, then after that, straight on the laptop, I'll catch up from the market from the day before. I'll see what's gonna happen today, what, if I'm in any trades, if I need to enter any new ones. My training style is quite relaxed, which people know. From there, I probably spend about a good 1.5 hours on the phone to people. I try not to, as soon as I wake up, stare at my phone, because your mood can be ruined in bed from the amount of messages and problems people have. And obviously I run like multiple companies, so I would say that trading and business must come to me after I've had my coffee and after I chilled out, after 10 a.m. or so. Then around 12 o'clock, a solid lunch before I head to the office. So if the question is about mornings, I'd say that the morning for me is helping yourself be relaxed. It's being able to do what you want. You know, we work really, really hard in life. I'm sure a lot of people watching this agree. You work hard to make decisions that you want to make. So I take my time, strong coffee, do my work. Once I've got some good mental clarity, I actually don't have a TV in my room for a purpose because I know I spend too much time there, and walk fucking Pip, wherever the fuck he is, around the park.
How did you know Shaun was a partner in business, and how do you know how good a partner is?
Wow, this is actually quite an interesting one. A lot of people always ask me about business partners and should I do a business on my own, a venture on my own, or should I include people around me that I think can help? And there's no perfect answer because, you know, doing something yourself, you know, yes, you get to have 100%, yes, you get to have creative control and all the profits, etc., but there's only so much one person can do until they run out of steam. And there's only so many skills one person obtains. So I think the perfect combination between me and Shaun was that I had a lot of different passions and I worked differently to him. Never, ever, ever have a business partner that's the same as you. That's one advice I'd give. You've got to try and find someone what they want to do and their passions and their motives are a little bit different to yours, because that way you're a good combination. So I'd say Shaun is a little bit more wild. Shaun's a little bit more of a, you know, do whatever he wants, addictive personality. And I was a little bit more of a people person. I was a little bit more of a, you know, let's try and create this business, let's try and take this there. You know, I basically go ahead and find the offices, I'll do all that work of negotiations. Shaun will come back, fuck it, that's a good office. So yeah, you know, me and Shaun have a good relationship. And in future advice, if those that are interested, I'd say, you know, honestly, don't get in business with your friends. That's one thing I've learned. Definitely don't get in business with family. That's massive, massive no-no. I know everyone sees the good in people, and people are good. People are good people. But once you try and combine a friendship or a family member into business, you will actually go ahead and ruin both your friendship and both, you know, a family connection that you guys have got. I'd say find someone that has different qualities to you, and find someone that's also, I believe in having a plan A. And if you agree with someone that's got a plan A, that's fantastic. But if someone's got a plan B, C, and D, and E in case it all fails, that will also be a very bad business partner, because you've gone in there with your full intentions to make this work, and you'll end up doing most of the work, while the other person's already planning on, if this fails, I'll move on to this. So business partners are very important. They're good to have, but with the wrong one, they can be absolute poison.
What's a usual mad night out for you?
What's a usual mad night out for me? So, I'd say every fucking day. And I do take breaks. You know, it's not a goal of going out and, you know, absolutely, you know, going to trash as possible, as many times as possible. I believe I'm very lucky. I moved to London like, what, about 3-4 years ago. And London's a type of place where you can meet anybody and you really need to get out there, got to enjoy the city. I remember when I first came here 3-4 years ago, and when I went to a restaurant, I was in the line, it was actually Novikov actually, and basically get to the front and they're just like, we don't have any space. I was like, okay. We tried to go to a club, and it was actually tape. We got in the line, we waited for an hour and a half. They said, we don't have any space, no. I think I was on the way back home, back to a hotel that we had the time, and I just said, how can I create my life so I don't hear the word no again? How can I position myself and build a life for myself where that word no doesn't exist? And that's where my motivation kicked in, and that's where I really had a little bit of a mission and a goal. So to answer the question about, you know, in London, you know, and a lot of my friends say this to me, which I kind of like. They're like, Nat, you can go anywhere you want to go at any point, and anyone will make space for you. They'll push you off the tables. And I really, really genuinely appreciate that. Like, as in, a bad night out with me is I'll sit there with you and I'll say, what do you want to do and where do you want to go? And you can pretty much say anywhere. And I'd say, right, let's get in the car and let's just go. I don't book tables, I don't book restaurants, we don't book clubs, we just turn up. And I'd say that took me a good 2-3 years to actually position myself to have that option of life and flexibility. It's not easy. London's one of the hardest places to make it in, but I'm proud to say that yes, in this current position, if you said to me, Ned, let's go on a bad night out, I'd probably ask you what you want to do. And whether it be, well, we had steak with Nusrat and Salt Bay half an hour before coming here. Today we're gonna go tape, and you know, well, I can even take Pip with me if I wanted to. And we should actually take Pip to tape. So yeah, it's like, you know, guys, you know, when you look at, I don't know, on a random note, if you look at rejection and look at when you can't get in, some people will go back home and fold and say, well, you know, F that place. You need to have the mentality where you leave that place and you kind of go, right, what do I need to do and how can I position myself so they don't say no next time? That's what I would say.
Pip or Porsha?
Wow, where is Pip? He's on a walk right now, isn't he? Okay, so, wow, what a tough question. Porsha. Pip's nice, but I wouldn't say he's a very nice dog. Would you, Ned? Pip's, you know, well, look, here's like Pip's mascot, as you guys can see here. Yeah, so I had Porsha, which is a Japanese Akita. I know everyone loves dogs that follows me. Porsha, I bought her as I got into trading. I remember for 2-3 years when I wasn't doing so well, I would take her for a walk in the park and I just kind of sit there, and it was, you know, a horrible feeling, and you know, you're not doing too well in life. You just kind of, you sit there and it's your companion. It's just a dog that's very loyal and is very nice, and you know, always has my heart. Porsha now is 11, and how weird is this? I bought Pip 10 years to the week that I bought Porsha, without realizing, 10 years to the week, and I fucking hate Pip. No, I'm joking, I don't really hate Pip. But yeah, so Porsha was like, kind of like my companion and a nice person. And Pip is like a little enemy when I come home, which will try and fight me for food, drinks. You know, Porsha was like, you know, on the come up where she saw the Maserati and I made her sit in it. And like, you know, it was nice for me to like drive her around. Pip gets to the car park and decides to pee in the Lambo when he wants to pee in it. He decides to go to the office and just attack staff. Yeah, he hasn't really like ever done anything that I'm proud of, but he will one day. He's 1.5 years old, and Pip, wherever you are, and if you ever watch this one day, I do love you.
Worst purchase?
My worst purchase? What do I regret buying? Fucking hell, there's a lot. One of the most losing assets I bought was that fucking i8. I bought the i8, I think it was BMW i8. It was like 80,000. And I think I drove around in a little bit in it. And when I sold it, it was like for 40,000, like 3 months later. So that's 40,000 in like 2-3 months. That was bad. Do you remember we rented Chris Brown's old house? Yeah. So we went to LA with Ned and we rented Chris Brown's old house. I want to say that's like 4,000 or 5,000. No, less than about 4,000 or 5,000 a day for about 10 days. And day number 2, we threw a party with a helicopter came and kicked out. And we never saw that money ever again. And I was too shy to even ask for it.
To be honest, it wasn't even the nicest house.
It wasn't the nicest house. The other story is, okay, I was in South Africa and we invited some people back to the house. We had this Rolex on and I decided, because I was so drunk, that it would be a good idea for me to hide the watch from the strangers in the house, just in case they don't, they steal it from me. And I hid this Rolex in this huge house in South Africa that for the entire trip I never found it again. And I had to go up to the Airbnb guy and be like, hey, listen, I've lost this Rolex in this house. Now I know you're never gonna send it to me, but it'd be really nice if you did. Yeah, I never saw a Rolex ever again. I've lost the Rolex, BMW i8, and yeah, there's so many things.
What's your best purchase?
I probably got it in the spare room. It's probably my first Hublot that I bought. Now, I'm not the biggest watch person on the planet. Like, I'm not the biggest. As in, like, yes, I have quite a few, like, nice and dream watches and stuff, which a lot of people want. But for me, it was a black Hublot that I bought for about £7,000. And when I put that on my wrist, it was the first time that I started to actually gain a little bit more confidence I had before. It was a time that I actually thought to myself, wow, this is my first step in terms of what I've always had on my bucket list. And the thing about watches, which is quite special, is you wear it every day. So if you're in a good mood, if you're in a bad mood, if you're in a bad mood and you're walking around and sometimes you're gonna humble yourself a little bit and you think you've had a bad day, you've lost some money in trading, stuff's not gone too well for you, I don't know, girl issues, whatever. To know that you are one of very few percentage of people in the world to ever say that you had a Hublot on your wrist, it's something that can actually bring you down to earth very quickly. So I feel like one of my best purchases, not the most expensive one by far, but was a £7,000 black Hublot, which is in my drawer in my office, that I'd say that I still look at and I go, wow, this so many times for me was a good anchoring experience of whether it be good, whether it be bad. I'd be very fortunate that I were able to purchase one day.
Toughest moment in your life and how did you overcome it?
Toughest moment of my life. Now, again, obviously, most men have to admit, mother passing away, that's just something that no one sees coming, guy or girl. So I think when I got over that moment, it took me a good few years to get over it. That's when I kind of became a little bit more fearless, a little bit more, nothing can really hurt me now as much as that moment, which I feel like in the grand scheme of things, built my character. A lot of people get stuck around something really negative in their lives. I personally see it as, you think of it like, wow, the worst has already happened to me. So if I went outside right now and someone had scratched the cars or someone punches Ned in the face or something happens, in life that you don't like, and you get some bad news, you get a bad text message, it's never gonna be as bad as something you've already gone through. So you might as well be positive about it.
What's the thing that annoys you the most?
Ned. The thing that annoys me the most is unreliable people. Always, 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 and this goes for men and women, people that are not reliable. Because I've always been brought up in a mind frame of, if I told someone I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. And that goes for whether I have committed to a trip, a business meeting, whether I've committed to, I don't know, anything. And the people that will become unreliable, there's a big, massive pattern of they're the ones that hate life because they have not gone to the opportunities they should go to. They have passed up on certain things by usually being quite lazy. And so there's a big, big connection between people that are not reliable and then people that complain about their lives. And yeah, I've seen that connection quite a lot over the past few years, and I'll say they're very, very closely connected.
Okay, what's your favorite tattoo?
It is probably this one. The first time I ever sat on a private jet, I got this done when we went from London to Amsterdam for my birthday, And the reason I got it done was because a lot of people always want the big house. We all do. A lot of people want the fastest car or this and that. For me, it was always watching TV shows and said, I wonder what it's like to sit on a jet. I wonder what it's like to be able to sit on that private plane with your friends and to experience that. So when I experienced it and it was so much fun, I got a tattoo on my arm because I thought to myself, the reason I got this for one reason, this won't be my last time. By putting it on my body, I thought to myself, I look at it every day, you're working, you see it. You're driving around, you see it. So because I feel like I put it in maybe some sort of law of attraction type of way, surround yourself with it, guys. So guys, I actually need to pack because I'm actually going to Egypt tomorrow. Never been to Egypt before, so we didn't even answer a lot of travel questions here today, which I'm sure a lot of people are interested in. But I hope you guys like my quick Q&A. About to quickly go pack my stuff and go out and hop on a plane tomorrow to Egypt. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this, whether you find it motivational, funny, inspiring, informative. I want to do more Q&As with people, but thanks so much for watching. And guys, I will see you on the next video. Boom.